As soon as Disney reported the budget for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, people knew it was going to be in big trouble, because even if this movie did the same as what Crystal Skull did 15 years ago, it would still end up losing money because of the massive budget, $300 million production budget, estimated $150 million marketing budget, which means this movie would have to make somewhere in the realm of $900 million just to break even. Well, then we saw the projections. Those certainly weren't good. Indiana Jones 5 opening weekend projections spelled disaster for Harrison Ford's swan song. Well, here we are, Sunday of opening weekend, and the verdict is in. Indiana Jones 5 is a massive flop on its way to becoming one of the biggest failures in box office history. Take a look at this. Indiana Jones and the Box Office of Doom, while Dial of the Destiny at $60 million opening isn't setting records for franchise finale. And yes, this is the most up-to-date numbers we have. $60 million opening weekend. To put that in perspective, 15 years ago, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull opened to over $100 million. That was back when tickets were only about an average of $7 per ticket, as opposed to almost twice that now. And not only is this movie looking to have nearly a 40% drop-off from 15 years ago domestically, but internationally, it's even worse. Global start is at $130 million, so domestically and internationally. They expect around 140. They couldn't even get to that. That number is less than half of what Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did back in 2008 with $272 million globally. I mean, just take a look at this. This movie couldn't even reach $800 million back in 2008. The movie that just currently came out, Dial of Destiny, is tracking for less than half of that. That would be a movie that might not make $400 million total worldwide. We're looking at a total loss, if it did something like that, of around $250 million for Disney. But hell, it might not even reach that. These are numbers that are consistent with what we saw from The Flash, which is now projected to barely get to $300 million worldwide. It is impossible to undersell how bad this is. What an absolute bomb this is. Another historic character, another iconic franchise that Lucasfilm has just flushed down the toilet. People have rejected this wholeheartedly. I don't think it's going to have as drastic of a drop as The Flash, since that's one of the worst box office drops we've ever seen. I think it'll have slightly better legs than that, but I don't think the legs will be good on this thing, because as much as some people want to point to this score or that score, the word of mouth for this movie is not, oh, you got to go see it. It's, wow, this didn't need to be made. Glad I got to see another one of my favorite characters destroyed in front of my very eyes by Disney. This is the worst box office news that they could have possibly received. Kathleen Kennedy is used to disappointing people when it comes to Star Wars. This is something unlike anything. We're talking somewhere between $200 and $300 million lost. The reason I'm saying that is because if you have $450 million invested in this thing between production and marketing, and that's around the number. It could even be more, to be honest with you. That's a conservative estimate right now, $450 million. If you say get, $400 million of the global box office, you only get to keep about half of that. The theaters get the rest. So that would be $200 million brought in, which would be a net negative, again, of $250 million. That's realistically what we now have to start talking about when it comes to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. What an absolute flop for them at the box office. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.